Okay, it's amazing how time flies. On sector communications or anything through interference, you have to truly understand how to use it through calculation. At volumes and volumes on so many levels. Time just in all lines and location has its existence to non-existent location. So look at the clocking center. How often do you look at the clock? Do you look at it every second, every minute, hour of the day? No. Why? You don't know. You don't need to because you know time is going by. So in that position, location, and directions, it's all levels of what you follow. And again, it's all level system is what you are leading. Following is not its connection, it's leading your system inside. You focus on your line center, you come into self love, you come to the unconditional. You find a relationship with your system, which is the biggest thing. Everything outside doesn't have any position, location, and direction. It's you follow, and that follow is its lead. So that helps you and always informs. Okay. So in that calculations, we're going to get into all levels of I in positions, no I in team. You guys are going to come together as a team line center. We're going to go through white graph location line positions because we got to do Zoom after. So amount line communication system, all levels like line conditions. All right. Okay. So it's sequence pattern line rotation calculation. This is the island. Okay, that's the island. Now in position locations, you have the water length, communication line triangle. You guys are going to have 15 minutes. I want you guys to figure out how to get off Gilligan's Island. Okay, it's off the coast. So there's a water line in position of directions. Okay, you're going to vortex and communications right to the island. Okay, so you have to find a way to get off and work as a team. Okay, that's the most important thing. And then you realize, okay, I'm not competing with myself anymore. This is very important. We all have to get off the island. Work together. Together. That's the only way you can understand your system. Okay. So to understand anything is all levels of what? Telepathy. Telepathy. Okay. Once you get into telepathy, you get a better communication to your system, better communication to your body system, and a better reaction to everything around you. You're projecting everything around when you're scanning these things, but you're protecting your system. This goes way beyond recognition through its awareness. Awareness is everything through its information, gives you everything through perception. It's the operation system locations, right? We start with the ego. The ego is its energy, which is created through its grounds, which is created through its opening. You're opening the process. Getting out of that business locations, you come into all levels of the energy, to its communication, to collaboration, to all levels of its operation. Okay? So sequence pattern locations, there's a water line. Okay? So I'm going to vortex you guys in position directions. There's the portal. You guys are going to sit positioned right on the line center of the island line conditions. Right? 50 minutes to get out line system. Setting codes to the location of Gilligan's Island, high force line centers in position location directions, right? In position location, a 3-hour tour, right? Just sit right back and hear a tail. All right, signal in the high center. Signal position location calculations. 50 minutes, have fun. All right, in that correlation, we'll get the next line center locations. Graph locations of all level structure. Okay, come in position location high system. All right, so we got plateau interference. Okay, here comes the train. Train set up position location direction. You guys are going to be sitting in panel lines. Communication is all line rotation calculations. Force communication cyclones, high line channel position of direction. Okay, so I'll wait for you guys. Getting that correlation interference is to understand you through position, location, directions. All right. After you get in position, you have to understand the importance of being a team. All right. No separation. Because what I want you to do is not just balance the ego, but don't create something that's not already created. Because once you create these things, it's hard to get rid of, right? Because it's all communication of emotion. Because this is all human emotional location of track. So if you can't understand your emotions, you're already having a problem. The first thing you look at is all levels of you, confliction in all level system locations. This is the subway, all right? Now, in calculation where we are through division line system, okay, you're all seeing each other, all in timeline on Gilligan's Island. All right, in position of Lindsay, Pam, communication of Zuri, Gypsy, communication Ambi, Airbender, Heather, communications, all levels, Cami. All right. Michael, Johnny, Terry, Don, Sammy, communications, Michelle. It's great to see everybody. Andy, Stacy. All right, Jill, Sunny. Okay. So, have fun. You can't argue with your system. You're stuck on an island. Now's the time to get off. All right, so we get that line center interference. Once you guys get in positions, we'll set line conditions and you'll be on your bullet train. And from there, you go into skyrocket system. Or I'll be in a skyrocket. And then things will get exciting. And then we'll head to Alosa Skynet. So, coconuts to stay hydrated. Okay. No, you got to eat. You got to drink. How long is it going to take you to get off the island? You can't do it separate. Let's say all of a sudden, just an example, right? Somebody goes off and creates their own boat. Hey, that's great. Gets on the boat and goes off himself. Now, is that helping the team? No. He's thinking of himself or she's thinking of herself. That doesn't help the situation, especially when you're on space locations. That's an ego right there. You know, you created this amazing plateau, right, of a boat, but you only get on and you say goodbye to everybody else. How does that help the situation? That's not team effort, is it? That's thinking of yourself. So that alone is creating drama. And the next thing you look at, you're already there and they're struggling, but they find a way to get there and they're looking down at you. So this is you in position, location of calculation. This is all levels where we look at the center. You are in the center position and they're all looking at you or what you just finished doing, creating your own calculation to get off the island and not thinking about anything else but yourself. That's you. You're going to feel bad. And what's going to happen is they're going to separate from you. No friends. Oh no. So that's understanding location where everything comes from, right? Find a way to get the unconditional location of you first. The self-reliance, the self-guidance, the domination to its communication system is all of how to balance out your emotional system and how you deal with things every single day. You're in situations every single day, maybe with your family, your loved ones, your wife, your daughter, your kids, your sons, your friends, whatever, you know? But that's exactly what would happen if that happened in a situation. Everybody would turn away, right? So, just to show you what teamwork is, team effort, right? All right. See, you want to work together. Let's get off this island. See, you're on the island and you have to work. You have to come together as a unity, not the conscious mind system, the mind system of collaboration. Okay, so what I want to do is you guys are trying to get off the island. What I want to do is when I was on live with Gypsy and Sophie, it was pretty interesting how Sophie wasn't seeing anything until I showed her how she was seeing things through this equation. You give me anything and you travel right through it because I understand its failure. I understand its humility. I understand how to be successful and I understand how to be humble in all levels of creation, of source, how it is created. And then you become the abundance, and then you become the surrender, and then you become the discernment, and then you become the manifestation of your co-creations. Okay? So that's the importance you have to understand, right? So if I give you a triangle force line, all right? Triangle force, okay, equals line. Triangle force line, right? Triangle comes in line center location all levels. Now it's got a Y line center. There's the Y line. But the Y line center, its position location, has to come into a levels into its flux capacitor. Okay? Once it comes in its flux capacitor, high channels its ground system, opens up the power line center interference, and electrical light in its connection position. Opens all positions, goes back into the force line, opens a circle location in its calculations, high channel its high line center, open line center locations into north, and position locations into south line, opens up its diamond core line center interference location to its level. Level comes in position location directions, sets a course line channel, releases all position location directions, opens up a new plasma light channel in rotation calculation. Now, in that line center locations, it all levels its system. Okay, opens up more ground line centers, opens up more communication, and opens up more magnetic highway information system. All through teamwork, right? So you have to really understand the process. Okay, I really want to get into that. I don't want you guys to have separation to your units, your sectors, your vectors, and your quads, or anything interdimensional or your intergalactic. You are creating your own drama every time you get up in the morning. Nobody else is doing that, only you. It's because you're not understanding the balance of the mind. You don't understand the yin, you don't understand the yang, but you're trying to understand the process, but you don't want to go to school. You don't go to school. You don't understand. You don't understand what the avatar is doing. The avatar is standing there and just sitting there. Okay, I know everything. I don't need to go to school. I'm good. 6 months later, yeah, I think I need to go to school. So then you start to realize, and then you stop thinking about yourself, and then you start to understand how important it is to get into your memories of who you are. This is not a forced situation. It's only forced upon you if you don't understand your system. And that's where it comes into roguing. And that's where it comes into off-grid, not how it comes into offline. Okay? Getting your position, location, and direction is truly understanding you. Okay? So if you don't understand how to get into self-control, you're never ever going to be able to balance your emotional system. Okay? All right, so waiting on position locations to get you guys into your subways. All right, so how are we doing? Pre-navigation, let's see here. Thank you, Star Beautiful. Nice work, Glenda. E-fields keeping sand. After okay, who knew? Well, you guys are on an island. You have to figure out how to do these things. Work together, together. You know, it's about woodwork. Some have to peel bark and braid it to make rope. Oh, there's bamboo. You know, logs to build ark. That 62 people, 64. It's interesting you look at position locations, how you guys are all there looking at each other, trying to figure out, okay, we're all on an island. How do we get off? Right? Bring in the extra coconuts inside so we have food and water for when the blast off. Very good. It's very good. Very noble, Chris. All right. I have the new core, Chris and Jill. We have to send the codes to align the new one core. Very good. Setting operation manual for this model. He says the ship is very old. Yes, it is. It's very old. What, do you think it's going to be new? No. Let me know when the navigation is complete. Setting new GPS coordinates to Jill. All right. Teamwork. Yay. All right. Now you're falling in. All right. Protection of data. It's a lesson learned. It's a beautiful thing when you come together. Right. And then you realize, okay, I do need the team. And always informs. Right. That's going to benefit you because you'll never know when you need help from someone else. Right? So this is about understanding how to get yourself into your minds of yourself and each other through telepathy. And then you set up locations at all levels. You start small, and then you come into an expansion of you through its coordinates. Our same location is position of time. That position location opens all levels of you through space. Right? Looks good. Fast track. Code sent. All right. Ship is repaired. Seaworthy, sir. Max, okay, great. Riding dolphins to catch food. Great. The ship is looking good. Wow. New timeline set. Okay. So everything you're fixing timelines and everything, locations. Every time you travel, you're changing something inside of you. You're balancing your emotional system, guys. All right. Hop on, everyone. Okay, so you're on position. All right. That's good. Now, you don't have to sail, okay, on so many levels, but I just want you to understand how to come together, which is becoming more a little bit more successful. And you're doing it through the mind system. Okay, you're not arguing just locations. Who's setting this up? Who's setting that up? Don't tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing. I've got more experience than you. Well, I'm sorry. But at position location, always look at talent. Experience always takes over talent. Remember that. Sending in codes, but the thing is, once you have the experience, you don't want to be in your own position of your own world. You're working with everyone. Because if you're not working with everyone, you're working with yourself. And that is exactly what you don't want to do, is to get in that connection. All right? Because it doesn't help you. It doesn't benefit you in any way. All it causes is separation. And then once they're gone, you're alone. And then you have to find a way to figure out how to get them back and become friends of a position location of calculations. When you're alone, you start asking yourself, what did I just finish doing? Why did I do these things? This is a process. Every video that you watch on TV is all levels of a message. If you understand that track locations, you will be always alone in its system. And then you just trottle by yourself in that position locations, all levels of outline system. Hooah. So, very powerful. Great. So you guys are all on the boat. Beautiful. All right. Sector line center interference. Congratulations. Hands on deck. High center interference. Travel position locations. Passing through Gilligan's Island. Okay. Open signals, communications, vector lines, code C location, identification line, rotations. You see the portal? Okay. 1, 2, 3, jump. All right. You guys jumped. Now you're in the portal locations. Setting line center, change the position of portal lines, locations, calculations. Put you back in rotation line centers. Get you in another portal location. There it is. Right? Center line position. You guys are there. Right? So in position locations, right, you guys are getting on the bullet train. Right? Position of directions. There you are. Okay, you guys are in. All right, so as you're in position locations, you're going to be going 700,000 miles per second, right? Speed, bullet line, center location, high line, and rotation calculations. Gravity shifts, high center of position. Set up an atom line center. Start up the engines. Speed cross location. Zip tap zoom, high line, center line, interference locations. Sit tight, gravitational belts. Sit down, all position locations. You have intelligence on both line center, blocking the door line center interference, laser direction locations, looking at the ground system and calculations. All right. All right. So it's going extremely fast. Once we get in that position locations, we go into levels, into a skyrocket line center, coming in track location. High position of directions. Okay. Once it comes in calculation on line center and position location calculation, so levels of youth and location line conditions. All right. So setting that sign line and interference, you're going to vortex communication to triangle force lines. I love the force line communication because it opens all position location and direction. All right. Code C line centers. Setting rocket surface. Okay. Rocket equals surface. All right. Okay, coordinate. Okay. Docile, D.O.S. dot position locations, all right. Directions, location, operation, systematic location of level. Okay. zero gravity, and highest center location, gravitational pull. Okay, I'm going to come in position location, send you guys in align center, calculation, position, and direction. Setting signals in high interference, high rotation to its calculations, right? All right, so you guys are getting off, position location, all right? They're going to send you guys back into another center. You can't go in the same portal. You got to go in another portal line center because it's traveling locations, taking you right to the direction location GPS line center, which takes you right to the Skyrock location, right? Here we go, in position. All right, you travel through it. All right, so set position location directions. Now you're here, all right? With another portal coming out. There you go, starting at the bottom line center. Guys came in at the portal location. Skyrocket service, coordinates location, docile communication, operation line center, core line center. Get in position location directions, all right? Seating position, seating position, seating position, seating position, seating position, seating position, right? Correlation interference in direct locations. Sectors, vectors, quads, high center line interference, high levels interdimensional locations to its intergalactic system. Skyrocket service line center line rotation. Q calculations to all levels of high force line centers of Skynet position. All right, here we go. Blast off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Initiate. It's initiating. Right, here we go. All right, so level you off, position, location, direction. All right, so you guys are servicing. You're going to level off. Okay, and calculation. Leveling off the line center, interference, position, location, directions. All right. So going in line center, left line corner, position, location. It's all levels of Skynet. Web location, line, grounds, communication system. Skynet's right here. All right. So in that merge is high lines. Now, in this Skynet position, okay, skies equals net. Okay. Okay. Equals line center locations into north line, into south position, east and west line. Okay. Into TV. Okay. Equals production to its position. Now, production is all about understanding post position location of this, post position location of that. Where are you going to be standing line center? You guys are going to go through energy washes, gravitational pull line centers, gravitation interference in position locations, internet line center and rotation, data stream line centers, perception high center locations, Skynet information locations, all levels of channels, operation circles, high center location, all over the Skynet. Understanding how to use your perception line connections to your T reception line and rotation system. It's a computer operation of you. Understand why it's so important to create something beautiful that's inside, but also protect it from outside position of everything else. Creating your data streams and your server coming in that line center located all line center location to its Skynet position, location, and direction. All right. So in position locations, 20 minutes on the clock. Have fun. We'll end the sequence location right at 12. And then right away, give you guys 5 minutes. You have your drinks, drink your waters in that location. Heading over to Zoom on Q&A. All right. Amazing how we do all these things, locations into formation, stabilizing, conducting electrical magnets, barriers, portals, different travel. Teamwork is amazing. Yes, it is. You guys are working together. Teaching me all that fun. Yeah, releasing all position, location, and calculations, scanning recalibrations, binary data, e-fields, place around team, using cloak and alchemy. Let's get, yeah, okay, position locations. Yep, skyrocket surface, following leadership. What do we need to do? Just basically everything you're doing, JP. You just know exactly what you're doing with your coordinate locations. Stay within your system and you're fine. To see anything is to know everything, what you're seeing. All right. So it's all about understanding. It's interesting too, when it came to a levels of Sophie and Gypsy, it was amazing how they were seeing these things, but they weren't thinking. They just know that they were seeing it. because they wanted to see it. That's where they didn't have an ego. It had a placement location to its position location of time, but it's turn understanding when you see these things, right? So if I say TV box location, right? There's a TV box location, but it's not at its location. It's in its journey getting to its location, right? So it's already there, but you don't see it because you create its drama. So to get from here to here is everything from here to here, right? So you go forward, you go back. So in that position location of calculation, that's important you have to understand. So you are following your journey and not equaling a location to its direction location of its destination. Journey equals direction to its destination, but it's what's in between is its position location times pi. Okay? In between, from here to here. You got to look at this, not here. Don't look at the destination, look at the journey. So it's all about understanding what you're seeing across locations, you know? If you're trying to get to one road graph location and you're here, you start here, you're already looking at the other side. But how do you get from here to here, right? How do you get there, right? How do you get there? Straight run across all levels, knowing communications without anything to the emotional system. Staying in track line center, you're into the other side location without its ego location, right? So understanding that system locations, yeah, sure, you're going to go into levels of detours, problem settings, correlation of the system, blocking interference, dimensional door locks, dimensional setting lines, communication cyclones, wind factors, communication interference location. So if you're already in a problem, you're already offline. So you got to find a way to get back online. And then you go through. Understand? So this is the process that everybody has to understand. Once you create an emotion, where's the emotional system going? So you can center position again, center course line channel. Okay. One position, one straight line. You're just going one straight line. You're not going here. You're not going here. You're not going back. You're not going forward like that. That doesn't get you anywhere. You got to ground your system. You got to open your power line center. And you got to open your magnetic highway information, your data of your information system, or your thoughts. Stay in position locations, come into your flux capacitor, and travel through. And there you go. Setting locations. Opens up channels, electrical line connections. Ground your system, protect all of your E fields. That position locations comes into calculation of 3 waving system locations of its direction. All right. Now you get balanced communications. Now you're out position locations in 2-dimensional setting of travel in 12 locations to its system. Scary line defense. Ooh-ah. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Right? You did that without any understanding what you're doing with your emotion. You were knowing exactly you're following your journey. Do not look into the future. Right? Or you're going to miss all that heavenly glory. In between, that's times pi. That's all it means. It's not a piece of pie. It could be a triangle line system. It could be a vortex location. It could be a chamber line center. It could be a piece of pizza. It could be a piece of jello that's in a triangle force line, a communication system. It could be anything. That's times pi. Okay? So it's the determination from here to here. It's the in-between. That's the journey. Right? It's not here to here. You're missing everything in between. Right? So if you understand that position, location, and directions, you understand what it is. It's all about the system, right? Saberdine. Yes, very good. Golden beans rising up from the sun. I meant to snip that zoom. Skynet connection. All realms and time sequences data. Well, understand where I am in position. All right, the connection to the server. You're in the data streamline system. But understand your position, location, and calculation put you all levels of your system, right? That's why it's important to stay in your emotional system and not go off track. Because your life is all based on that. And you have to understand what yin and yang is. It's not just a circle. It's a clock. of space and time. Okay? It's how you determine to get there in your connections of your travel location of 6 and 9. Okay? So this is your light stream. We'll get more into that. But you have to understand the position, location of direction, and which way you're going through your flow, right? So as long as you stay with your journey and not look at its direction or any type of position locations, you're fine. But as soon as you go off track locations, you're off position. As soon as you go off position, you're off position. See? Now you have no clue what you're doing. So you lost the flow. You lost the clock of space and time. It doesn't matter if you're clocking your system at 24,000 line connections or 48 positions of windows. See, the 24,000, okay, is your capacity. We already know that location. That's your cap. You bracket at position locations. Equal line center location equals travel. Okay, equals telewaving. And that position location directions. All right. Remember, I'm traveling very fast. So, telewaving, okay, opens channel. Opens equals channel of communication through a 24,000 line signal. So you bracket this, and then you have your 7-digit line center of 444, right? Bracket that, okay, in position locations into levels. Now, you don't have to say high center locations in 444 and do another 4 because you're already in balance of the bracket location. If you have the area code that works the system location of 24,000 line center, you're already in equal line center locations of collaboration at the top line system, right? So you can do 444 equals 7 because that's your 7-digit. That takes you to its realm, position, location, to its travels of its telecommunication, to its telewaving, to its operation, to its calculation. All right? And that's just through 24 light signatures. That's not even a 48 window. So wait a minute. Let me get this straight, General. Student comes up to me and say, okay, what's the 24 light signature? What does that have to do with anything? Well, what does it have to do with anything through yin and yang? What does it have to do with anything through abundance? What does it have to do with anything through travel? It's all levels of you inside. It's you balance out your space and time of you through your own clocking system. So that is all levels of structure. But you have to understand how to bracket these things. You have an area code, and that's all you're doing is transmitting and receiving information to its calculations, times pi, times calculations. The calculus interference location of times modification line center. It's all levels of simulation location to its calculation of its atom line system. In position of direction, it's all level connection. All right? Because you understand how to use your cell phones. You understand you have an area code to get where you need. Ring, 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 ring. You got the area code. You got the right number. You're good to go. So you can go 333, bracket that position locations equals 6. But hold on. 6 line center equals 1. Right? That's 7-digit. So that comes in position location line connections right away. So you circle 6. You circle 1 location. That comes into levels of calculation. Right? XT1000 comes in. Opens up a crop circle location to your calculation. Code weaves its system into its position. All right. So it's kind of like if you got a 6-line number, but you're missing a number of position locations, you can factor it over communication. Factor over. Okay. Factor. Okay. Equals over. All right. Now you're probably wondering why I'm doing this. Because that's how I travel through all level connections. Right, through XT1000 line. It's all levels of a map through its factor, to its point system, to its point system of its location. Right? That's how you get to your map locations. Factor over communication times calculation times pi allocates timeline center to your box position location equals all levels of your flux capacitor. Flux capacitor equals box. Factor over communication to your location right here. But you start here. You don't end up here. You have to understand everything through the clocking system of the center line connection, which is all levels of times pi. That's your destination. Okay? It's not what you see in the future. It's what you see in the position of the journey. It's from the journey to here, to here, to here. block, 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 block is times pi. Why do you think you have a piece of pie of 6, 8, 10, 12, 24? Party size. 24 pieces, multi-pass, party size, right? 24 pieces of pizza, 24,000 light signal location. Bracket position locations, okay, to that calculation, right? So it's a beautiful thing when you understand how time pi is in calculation. It's what's in between. It's not your destination. So you concentrate on the seconds, minute, hours, and day. You understand the modification, how to get from there to here, to over here, over factor, over pi. Over pi is a little bit more complicated, but we'll just stay with times pi because there's times calculus. The truth to understand you is all levels of width, longitude, and latitude. The ratios and proportion locations, right? The algebra, right? Algebra is all levels of a question. But to understand the fitting line center location is its finite system location of communication to its flux capacitor ground line center in position, location, direction. Right? There's the intelligence. So that's why it's so important to stay in your own system of calculation, to understand all levels of you and modification, right? This gives you a better understanding of how you can emotionally track your system, track your line center, GPS, or anything, position, location, directions. Understand how to use an alpha tone. What is an alpha tone? I don't know. Well, find out. You have to understand you are going to all levels to get to that destination. But to get there, you have to understand everything through times calculus, times pi, times box, times flux capacitor, time position of space and time. So there's a lot of things you have to understand. That position, location, calculations. All right. Gonna take you guys out. 1, 2, 3. You guys are back. Center position. Taking you guys out of equation centers in position, location, and direction is all levels of you and how you use you through your simulation. But remember, you're always following what? The seconds, the minutes, the hours, and the day. Okay? Hooah. So I think that's good. We got 4 minutes. Get ready. Get your mojos going, right? Get your MOs. I think we have a lot to discuss. Everything that's going on in so quick line centers. It's all position of Quicksilver. That position, the location is directions. It's how you feel. It's how you determine your system from getting here to here is everything in the center. Okay. All right. Congratulations, guys. You did fantastic travel. Proud of it to each and every one of you, right? Tap yourself on the back and make yourself feel good. Know that you're doing a little bit better in that position location of calculations, right? That's going to help you out more in its position location, right? We have a lot to discuss in Zoom position. Adios.